Hey everyone, it's your favorite funny Minecrafter here, SpeedyCube64, and this is a speedrun of a Complete the Monument map called Goliath. This run is in the 100% category, so on top of the required 16 wool and 3 mineral blocks, I also have to collect 54 bonus emeralds. The time to beat is 1 hour, 6 minutes, and 9 seconds, set by me back in the Middle Ages of 2021. Adding in 4 years of strategy improvements did significantly improve the time, but this is still a pretty long run and I do not feel like making commentary for the entire thing. The good news is that not every second of the run requires explanation anyway. I'll familiarize you with some of the major tricks in the first few minutes, and you'll be able to see for yourself how I use these tricks for the rest of the run. As always, you can find an uncommentated version of this video in the description. I started off this run by using a secret tunnel to sequence break to intersection 1. This map has 7 intersections connecting all the different dungeons. The first 5 intersections are in the overworld and the last 2 are in the end. But as you might have guessed, I won't be conquering them in their intended order. In fact, I'm not even collecting the wool from this dungeon yet. I'm mostly just going here to get a better pickaxe so that I can dig through even more stone to sequence break even further. Below me is a hidden teleporter. This one takes me to a central location called the Valley of Hope. This area not only contains the Victory Monument, but it also has a bunch of two-way teleporters to all 5 intersections in the overworld. This is a convenient place to store all my objectives, as I can't just fit all 73 of them in my inventory. But more importantly, I can use these teleporters to skip backtracking by using a trick called Quantum Chest Entanglement. You heard me right. I'm going to be taking advantage of a quirk in this version of the game where all chests share the same hitbox, specifically the same hitbox as the chest you're currently looking at. And since half of a double chest has a bigger hitbox than a single chest does, I can change the hitbox of a chest from far away, which can trigger some redstone to remotely teleport out. If that doesn't make sense, don't worry, I'll give you a visual representation when the time comes. Here's a small time-saving trick called inventory walking, which basically involves pressing a bunch of keys at the same time. Anyway, the main reason I went to intersection 4 early was for this one item, Earth Splitter, a diamond axe with a bunch of enchantments, including looting 4. Yes, as cool as it would be to have a manless world record for this map, getting ender pearls from Enderman is just too fast, and so the RNG aspect of the run remains. But it's not too bad because I have a lot of time to get pearls in this run. Or I could just get them right now, that works too. The end of this dungeon is coming up, which means I'm about to use the doohickey I set up at the teleporter from intersection 4 to the monument. Watch what happens when I loot the wool and look at a double chest. The chest's hitbox grows, which pushes the item onto the pressure plate and remotely teleports me out. You'll be seeing me set up this trick many times throughout the run, such as here, but I'm not ready for intersection 2 just yet. Instead, I'm going to the end to get the last 2 intersections over with and collect some very powerful gear along the way. As I make my way towards intersection 6, I'll explain an upcoming dungeon called Halls of Chaos. This was an especially tricky area for 100%. One of the bonus emeralds is unlocked by lighting up all 35 of these towers, which is hella slow. There is some redstone in the nearby dev room that I can mess around with, but it's surrounded by 10 blocks of bedrock on all sides. It wasn't until 2024 that we finally found the tech to solve this area. First, I unload a pearl above intersection 6 so that I can load it back in later to skip backtracking. Then, I dig down until I reach the bedrock ceiling of the dev room. It turns out that getting stuck in a block and then relogging specifically on 2 render distance makes you clip downwards, and I can just do this over and over again until I break in. This lets me unlock the bonus emerald without lighting up any of the pillars, and I can also pick up some cool gear that the map maker left behind. This next area is called the Red Maze, and its main gimmick is that it's surrounded by lava. This is supposed to be dangerous, but I can actually use this to my advantage. Looking at Endermen and making them teleport towards me can save some time, but it also risks them being stupid and jumping into lava or just going AWOL and teleporting away. That's why I went long for this one. At this point, I'm coming up on the last island in the Islands of Choices. I'm pretty close to the next intersection, but my inventory is hella full. So I'm going to use Chest Entanglement again to take a short detour to Everscream Depths for its conveniently placed ender chest. The only problem is that my setup is 44 chunks away. That's a lot of distance, so I pause here to let the chunks load. But once that's done, I can start taking on intersection 7, or sorry, I mean the super secret shortcut intersection of fun. Remember that relog clipping trick I used to break into the dev room in Halls of Chaos? Well, it's even more broken than you thought. Depending on your render distance, you can use it to clip down, sideways, or both. Here, I keep my render distance at 7 to clip sideways without going down. Fun fact, the last room of this dungeon has custom ghasts that shoot fireballs that can break through stone. They also take no damage or knockback. Now that I've successfully conquered the last two intersections in the end dimension, it's time to go back and do the overworld. I think this early game was pretty average because it had some minor mistakes and bad luck here and there. But with this chest placed, the late game officially begins and the show goes on. The good news is that I already have all the pearls I'll need for a fast late game should I not choke it. But enough yapping about the pace. It's time for the west half of intersection 5. The nether coordinates corresponding to this region are out of bounds, so I'll have to do this area on foot. But I do have a few tricks to speed it up a little.
Back out, new perspective gain from all the pain and stress. And when I do come back, I'm stronger than ever before. So don't disturb me, no please. Look into my eyes. Now tell me the things you love me about behind my back.
Some of you may have seen a Minecraft tournament called Gradient Gauntlet, in which a runner called Japonk built a TNT pearl cannon to cross a gap. Well, that trick originated from CTM maps. I took some extra wool from the last dungeon so that I can buffer this pearl throw to be right before the TNT goes off. This saves something like 200 blocks of travel, and also lets me take on glacial ruins from the top down as shown here. Alright, we're done with intersection 5 for now. Next up are intersections 1 and 2. The objectives in these areas are pretty close together, so I won't be using portals just yet. Well, not nether portals at least. There is one emerald back at spawn that I have to go collect. With intersection 2 complete and the obsidian now in my hands, it's finally time to begin the portal route. There's another cool trick I can use here called Quick Portal. Clipping into a block here causes some weird client server shenanigans to occur, which takes 1.6 seconds off the portal animation. But this carries a risk of crashing the game or corrupting the world, so I have to use it sparingly. In just a second, I'll be visiting the first major area of the portal route. If you've seen some of my other commentated runs, you know that I can get nervous if I know I'm on good pace. I hid the timer when I ran the map to prevent this, but the daylight cycle had other plans. Seeing the sun still up at this point pretty much confirms that this is a good run, so now I have to keep that in mind and try my best not to freak out at the end. After getting this emerald here, I'll need to go back to the Nether, but I'm pretty far away from where my return portal is. So instead, I activate the quantum chest to take me back to the monument, where I can deposit my objectives and then use the portal I built here to get back to the Nether. Unfortunately, the next few minutes of the run might be a bit repetitive. I'm going to be following the same pattern of going to the Nether, making a portal to one objective, running or digging to any nearby objectives, and then activating a quantum chest to take me back to the monument. I might as well take a bit of time then to talk about the history of the run. It all started back in 2018 when I was bored of playing 20-minute maps and decided I wanted to do a long map for a change. So I ran the map with whatever primitive ass strategies we had back at the time and clocked in at a whopping 1 hour and 44 minutes. Then I finished high school and decided to take another look at the map with the hopes of getting sub-hour this time. I did not get sub-hour, but I knew it was possible with even just better execution, and so the category lived in my head rent-free for years to come. Then I finished college. With the 30K milestone off my shoulders, an abundance of free time before my summer job started, and a desire to do something big for my 10-year special on YouTube, I figured it was finally time to give this map one last shot. With 4 years of new route and strategy improvements, I knew I could get much further than the humble 59. I started off this process like I usually do, by making a segmented run. This one was 49:27 plus or minus 10 seconds because I made some editing mistakes. Shout out to Contranaut for discovering relog clipping, Eliotex for discovering chest entanglement, and Quibblington for finding some wacky pearl tricks specifically for this map. I then got to practicing individual segments and grinding out runs. I got sub 50 relatively quickly, and kept whittling the time down bit by bit until I realized, wait, I can save like 30 seconds if I completely change the order of portals and move Ember mines to late game. So I did just that. My second segmented run clocked in at 42:14. I wanted to get as close as I could to that in a real run, but then the frustrating part of the grind hit me like a train. Compared to Legendary, this map is way easier to complete, sure, but it's a bit harder to execute at a high level. The complexity of the strats and movement, the variability of Pearl RNG, and the pure length of the run make this skill ceiling a bit higher. Or maybe I just had a skill issue, who knows. This time, the wall I hit was at 43:27, but to make a long story short, I broke through and got this run on July 3rd, 2025. It took 494 attempts and roughly 180 hours of gameplay. Unfortunately, this might be the last CTM speedrun I do for a while, at least until the end of 2025. There is a chance I end up too busy with my responsibilities next year as a graduate student and a TA, and I would also be lying if I said I wasn't losing at least a little bit of interest. But I put a ton of emphasis on the word might for a reason. Only time will tell whether I still have the time and/or motivation to do these elaborate CTM runs. Either way, don't take this as some sort of I'm quitting YouTube statement because I won't be going anywhere. There's just the possibility that I might have to go into low effort mode again for a while. And this time it won't be under the incentive of becoming a Chad or raising up some baddies, but to simply enjoy and excel at a chapter of my life that I'm sure will be fun and rewarding. Either way, the past decade making these silly little speedrunning videos has been a blast. I got to see the strats used for speedrunning evolve alongside my production value, smashing milestones I never thought possible both in the speedruns themselves and in my channel as a whole. Sometimes I wonder what my life would be like now if my squeaky little 12-year-old self didn't decide to make my first video. And it's really hard to come up with an answer to that. I guess I shouldn't ask questions I'm not prepared to handle the answers to. I know that it doesn't really work for everyone, but I think you should at least try getting into some kind of content creation if you haven't already. Whether you have an interest you want to explain, a message you want to tell the world, or just some cool gaming accomplishment you want to show off, you can't really go wrong with putting yourself out there. And who knows, maybe you can make a little extra cash along the way. But that doesn't really have anything to do with collecting wool or emeralds, so I think I might shut up now. I'll see you at the monument.
I have gotten to the point where I'm just too afraid that you're
in my heart till you see me on the other side of stars.
Oh, the journey starts from where we did first step. No one's sure what lies ahead before the breath. Roads may be rough and tough, but we will lead somewhere.
Nothing easy, get up and go, get it go.
Sometimes this journey is about the chase, not about the destination of the world. No matter how far,
No matter how far,
how you go,
how you go.
how long can it
No time to waste. You gotta face your life, go get it burn.
When there's a beginning, there's an ending too. As we go across many predicaments, your life lies beneath colors of love that's excellent. The pictures fade away, you will remain the same.
Stop living dead when your heart's beating still. No slowing down for me, I'm never gon' chill. Every low phase, I'm riding like a drill. I ride by the roads, but outshine.
Only time will tell the money to the thief. Born where we would make it this way to keep. Standing by for answers. Shouting is defense.
Nothing easy, get up and go, get it go.
Only from the heart one reaches to the sky. Ups and downs they go for years of enemies on the right. As you go, believing the faith and
No time to waste. You gotta face your life, go get it go.
Trust is the next, reflect hope and fear. Be brave and unindependent. One might just stay. This truth works out. With maybe hearts and stars of life. Meanings all of the search for.
Question, no answers, will this be for nothing? I felt so worthless and nervous, disgusting. I won't be so broken unless I conducted diligently, patiently, and trusted myself. Nothing was given to me, so gonna go earn it. Everything needs another motivation, I burn it. Reputation doesn't stop death, but it stops life. Accepting open minds for life.
One day this quiet voices will be heard. Loud and clear the story of the ones with me.
Hands up.
Shed no tears, realize what we left behind.
Nothing easy, get up and go, get it go.
Explore it hiddenly this longer time. No one should need it for me to a way of life. No matter how far,
No matter how far,
how you go,
how you go, how you
how
go.
short is
Property ain't no time to waste. You gotta face your life, go get it burned.
And just like that, I somehow kept just enough of my brain cells alive to get sub 43, which is the final minute barrier I wanted to break. But that doesn't mean it'll be the last minute barrier ever. Remember, 10 years ago, I'd have thought it was impossible to achieve something like this. I'll be eagerly awaiting the day when someone else decides to pick up where I left off. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay speedy. Peace.